Hello. How are you? David, or is it David or David?
Uh, uh, it's in Italian it's Davide, but you can call me David, no problem. Hi
Thank you.
everyone.
Hi,
Good.
welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
Good
hi
to
Todd
meet
and
you.
Pernille. Thank
Hello.
you.
Glad you could make it.
Yeah, I'm totally new here, so I don't know what I am supposed to do. Do you have some questions for me? Do you have some questions for me?
Well,
Or
No,
should I
it's
just?
yeah, yeah. It's more how where are you in your
yeah,
in
yeah.
your
Okay,
Quick little
these are
bio.
yeah, these are crazy days because I think I had like a big experience like 3 days ago. I spoke to a person that had an awakening like 2 or 3 years ago, and I contacted her through the Awakening Collective website. Her name is I don't know if you know her. She's called Chiki Davis. She's
Yeah,
affiliated with
actually.
the Berkeley University, I think. She's also a therapist, and she agreed to talk with me. I told her all my story that I've been meditating for more than 10 years and all the different teachers that I've listened to, all the books and all this kind of stuff. And I told her at one point, she said one thing in specific, like about the third feather, that really, I can tell you what was if you want, but that thing that she said really moved something in me. I
Mm.
literally started crying during the
Oh,
meeting,
yeah.
and like my mind stopped, and we continued after that. We and then like after the call ended, my body like began shaking. It was like evening here in Italy, and I began laughing, and like because I already understood that the ego is just a thought arising, and that these are all thoughts arising, and they reflect reality, and they are just reflections of this
Yeah.
of sensations and colors and sounds and these or other thoughts and so this is all like a structure made of mirrors, and these thoughts are like mirrors, and they
Yes.
mirror each other, and they arise, and there is a me thought that it is at the center of it all, and uh, and if you see that it's just a thought, like everything starts collapsing, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
before I spoke to her, it was more of an intellectual belief. Like
Yeah.
I knew that I could see that it was like that, but there was so much doubt. Then, like that evening, like I laughing was coming out, and the body was shaking, and there was this like a huge relief, like a huge weight was taken off my shoulders,
Yeah.
really, my body. And then like this intense sense of grief also,
Mhm.
like grief, like something wasn't there anymore, like somebody died,
Yeah.
and that lasted until I went to sleep, and the next morning I woke up and I was still feeling a little less intense, but I was still like laughing and feeling that kind of my body was lighter and everything was lighter, and I remember I was watching the sunrise from my window, and like that, like the mind was very empty. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then slowly the ego, during the days, the ego came back a little bit, and in the following days it came back even more, and I can see that these are just the me is just a story, and it continually appears from nowhere, like these thoughts appear from nowhere
Yeah.
and then disappear, and they
Yeah.
talk about this character. I can see it now better than before. I can see it.
Yeah.
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 I can see, but there is no one see it. They just
Yeah.
arise.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
arise
Yeah.
Yeah.
there. Okay. So but I am sure that there are still a myriad of beliefs still hidden
Mm.
in the mind, and I still have doubts, and I still experience the ego rising, the ego appearing, and these I thoughts appearing. I'm also doing a written inquiry with a very nice lady on the Liberation Unleashed website right now on the forum. And I'm very confused. I feel very confused these days because I don't know really what happened, if it was real, if it really happened. I mean, there is just this. So this is also a memory right now. And so the memory maybe changes over time, and I don't really. I'm beginning to forget it, and I don't know what's next. I bought your course on the first feather, and I'm reading and studying it right now, and I want to clarify this recognition that I had. And I think that maybe I need the other people to confront with also, and I need to talk to other people that live
But
are on this kind of path.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. It's such an amazing description. You're really gonna enjoy the hive mind, I'm sure.
Oh,
When
thank
you
you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
When you get in there, you might be overwhelmed by all of those threads. I don't know if you are familiar
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
code. There's so many threads in there because there's so many people talking at the same
yeah,
time and are experiencing things at the same
yeah,
time. So we try to put it into different topics so you can just look around and see where it fits. The thing that I really love about your description is that you have very clearly seen that it's just mirrors. It's like lots of mirrors that are just standing and reflecting one another all the time. And
yeah,
then there's like one collection in the middle that is collecting all the information, and that is the one that thinks that I am an individual self. Is not. It's just a collection point for
yeah,
all the information. But that does not mean that we can't get identified in traffic or if somebody says something, or and that is what we do with the fetters. It's that we, whenever you kind of forget that you're just a hall of
yeah,
mirrors,
Yeah.
then
yeah,
you can use the fetters to, why did I get so upset when she said that to me, or when he said that to me, or why do I still get clammy hands when I'm visiting my family, or why do I, so you're just curious to the experience, because it is bizarre that something we have experienced decades ago can still come up in this moment as if it's happening right now and it's real and truth right now, when we are
yeah,
nothing but just hall of mirrors, so it's, I love your description of it. I really love it. I'm
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm so looking forward to hearing next chapter.
Yeah. I want to thank you, Pernil, you especially, both of you, but Pernil especially, because like I very recently discovered your channel and what you do, but you instantly clicked with me. And and I saw when you spoke about you being autistic in some videos. I mean, I've never been officially diagnosed in my life, but I always suspected something. I don't really fit 100% of the profile of the average autistic person. There are some things that I really don't fit in, but there are also some things that I really recognize in me. And the way you talk about the feathers, the way you talk about what you experienced, really resonated with me. So
Thank you.
that
I'm
that
so
that, that
happy.
really resonated with me. And
Yeah, I'm so happy, David. I'm really happy. Really
yeah,
happy. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing
thank you.
next time in June how these 4 months have been, and how you're doing and all of that. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's going to be a
The
ride.
last thing
Yeah.
very quickly I want to say is that like these days I experience lots of doubts, and there are like thoughts emerging that say, this is all delusion. You are just deluding yourself. This is just not true. This is not real. You didn't experience anything real, and this is just suggestion. And like I can see that these are thoughts. These are just thoughts. they arise bodily sensation. They like make the body react. So there
Yeah.
are bodily sensations that react to these thoughts, and like this is where I'm struggling right now. So I think that I think is the second fetter, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
doubt, all this doubt
Yeah.
arising. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I am at right now. I think I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's what.
It's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
important when you have those experiences, which it clearly sounds like you did, right? There was something that happened that stood out as a marked change in your consciousness for at least for a period. You know, you exhibited a variety of symptoms which seem to be very common among people having these shift in perceptual states. Um, I think you're where what I would suggest is, you know, we tend to hold on to those things and to cling onto
Mm,
those states like either I had it and I lost it, or because it is
mm,
inevitably, you know, the neurology behind it is you have old wiring that's still there. You know, all
yeah,
these
yeah,
old
yeah.
pathways are there. So it's
Mm,
inevitable
yeah,
that even after a big shift experience, that you're going to go back to old habits of thinking, which is exactly what you're seeing.
yeah, yeah.
And I think if anything, at least from an intellectual standpoint, it can also help reinforce that sense of, right, there is no individual self there because you can see the patterns at work. You can see the conditioning, like Pernilla was
Mm,
pointing to,
mm,
that isn't it weird that something that happened 30 years ago is still, you know, kind of relevant and it's still echoing around,
yeah.
even though you've seen through it. Like whatever is here, there's some part of this current experience which sees that it's not true.
mm.
And it can understand that. And yet it still has some power. And yet still that conditioning is playing in that in certain situations you act like you did, you know, when you were 10. And it's like, you know, these things still happen because it's not personal, because it's not an individual self who can have an experience and be fundamentally changed by having gone through that experience. What we're changing is the entire wiring of the system so that it starts displaying in different ways. And the experience that you had, that it sounds like you had, was, you know, one big new way of experiencing the world. But like I said, as you experience, the ego starts coming back, all the old conditioning
Mm,
comes
mm,
back
mm.
online. So
Yeah,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
this kind of long process of noticing all of those ways where life does not feel like it did then.
Mm.
And it's not that we're now constantly going to be striving to get back to that, but just to notice in very stark terms, like, oh, this feels like identification now. You might not have ever
Yeah,
realized that you felt identified in ways because it just was the way
The
life
way life
was.
is.
And now when you
yeah.
get those tastes of like, oh, this is what life feels like without any thoughts coloring it or without identification attached to it, now you have a new gauge that you can use to be like, oh, okay, well, why does it, oh yeah, I'm totally getting identified with that thought, or I'm totally believing that thing, or I'm totally, you know, engaged with feeling identified with the body and the way that it feels right now and wanting it to be different or whatever else. Those are those things that you can start to recognize are more clearly as those kind of identifications that you can look into as opposed to, you know, before you even recognize that there were other alternatives
Mm.
um, to, yeah.
And then what you're going to experience is that underlying that undercurrent that you have is going to be the same in all areas. For
Yeah.
example, you said that that you have thoughts about, well, this is just
Yeah.
suggestion, you know, I'm just believing in what they're saying and I'm it's just suggestion. To me, that is indicating about an undercurrent about fear.
Mm.
Because
Mm, yeah, yeah.
you have been taught that you need to be careful. You need to be careful. You need to be
Yeah, yeah,
skeptical. You
yeah.
need to be. So that means that there's an undercurrent of fear.
Yeah.
There's a voice telling you to be careful here.
Yeah.
Whenever that voice comes up, know that it's not true. You are conditioned by fear. You were
Mhm.
taught to
Yeah,
be careful
absolute.
in life, and you were taught to survive in life with fear. It's
Yeah, yeah.
all that voice is
Yeah.
saying. It's not
Yeah.
saying that there's something dangerous. It's just saying something about what you come from, how your
Mm,
mirrors and how your wiring was created. It's the only thing it says anything about. So start to notice how many times during the day that you have a little voice that has an undertone of fear. And
Yeah,
whenever you notice that, then calm the fear. It's okay. It's
yeah,
okay. If it's
yeah.
just suggestion, I got this, you know? So
Yeah.
you just calm yourself whenever you have that feeling of fear coming up.
Yeah, yeah. The David Carter has always identified with being a very rational person
Yeah,
who like really checks things to like separate true from false, and like very very careful with trusting stuff, with trusting people, trusting
yeah,
stuff in general. So it's really like scared of being uh, wrong, scared
yeah,
of being victim of other people's. Yeah, yeah.
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 It's all a big story. It's all a big story,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's still there. It's so big
mm,
because like
but
it
also
went on for years. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Please, David.
but I also acknowledge the importance it had in your life at some point. Because at some
Mm-mm,
point in your life it was relevant, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't be your
mm-mm.
belief. You would have had a completely different belief, but that is your belief because it was relevant for you at some point.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah,
you're grown up, you're an adult, you got your back. You don't have to be like on guard all the time. You can relax. Not that you're now gonna become gullible and jump into every single pyramid scheme that is
Yeah.
out there, you know. So it's not, I'm not saying that the opposite will
Yeah.
happen, but it's more that you see through that it's just a belief.
yeah.
It's
I
it's like
think
it's like
I
if sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe can it be that it has been transmitted to me like by my parents, like my father, for example, like this way of approaching life as being very careful,
yeah,
like not being too open, being very close to things and suspecting everything.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I have been born into that kind of environment,
exactly.
maybe.
And then it's just a copy paste, and you've been a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
boy and done
yeah,
that. But now you can
absolutely.
see through that, and you are an adult, and you got your own back, and you
Mm,
can
mm,
feel into every experience that you have, how much of this is relevant right now, or how much
yeah.
is just conditioned.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you so
Love it,
much.
David. Love it so
Yes, it
much.
was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you
Yeah,
both.
really good meeting you. Really good meeting you.
Good.
And have
Thank you,
fun in Discord, and see you in June.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good trip. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. We have created a course of our first Fetter material. This course will walk you step by step through all of the ways in which identification is created and selfing happens. If you've been struggling to see through the self structure or have that first awakening shift, this course contains hundreds of tools to help you discover the selfing mechanisms when they're happening, and then see through the illusion of identification that are created. Along with over 14 hours of videos, this $49 course contains a full book worth of summaries, extrapolations on the videos, written inquiry suggestions, and other text. So work slowly, leave time for integration. This is powerful material, and it can be life-changing.